This video shows how workflows can be used for the creation of data products within one data. When a data product request is moved to the development phase, one data automatically creates a new project, which is the development environment for the new data product. Within this project, there are the required input raw data tables, and there is also the workflow that is used to create the data product. Let's open it and get started. This is the working space within the workflow, and what we see is its initial state as it is set up by one data. Each of these boxes are called processors, and each one of them is responsible for a specific task or action. This processor is the one that saves the final data product after all the data processing and analysis have been performed, and that allows a data product to be visible in the marketplace and consumable via third-party tools. The development of the workflow requires that some new processors are added to the workspace. There are 3 different ways to add a processor. Click Add Processor in the side panel to open an overview of all processors. The same overview is opened by double-clicking on the white space. For quick access, right-click on the white space and search for the processor you need. Of course, there is also a search function in the bigger menu that helps finding the right processor. One Data offers a large variety of different processors to load, transform, analyze, and save data. To better understand how to use each processor, there is quick access documentation linked in the overview. In this video, only the most commonly used processors are featured. Usually, every workflow development starts with adding one or multiple processors for loading data tables. The processor is now added to the workspace. Next to the processor, there might be a red symbol. This warns the user that the processor is not yet configured or that it has a faulty configuration. Let's now configure the newly added processor. A double-click on the processor opens its configuration dialog window, where the user can now fill all the required fields or change the setting parameters. From the drop-down menu, any data table present in this project can be chosen to be loaded. There is also the possibility to inspect the raw data in the table that was just loaded, or to add further specific notes to the processor for documentation. The configuration of a processor will look different depending on the processor. The quick access documentation helps with choosing and configuring the required processors. For keeping workflows clean and easy to understand, processors can be renamed and color-coded. By simply clicking into the title of the processor, it can be changed. Clicking on the drop icon on the top left of the configuration menu, it is possible to choose a color in which the processor should be represented in the workspace. There are different ways how to add and connect processors. For placing a new processor, the same options are available as seen before when placing the first one. For connection, use the ports. Each processor has one or more input and output ports. By clicking one of the output ports and dragging the connector to the input port of the next processor, the two are connected. Alternatively, a new processor can be added directly by dragging a connector from one of the ports and letting it go over the white space. This will open the processor menu seen before. While building a workflow, it is good practice to use the result table processor to check the intermediate results after a specific workflow branch. To do so, the result table is connected to the output port of the processor, after which the results should be checked. In order to see the results from the workflow actions, the workflow needs to run first. To do so, click Save and Run. When clicking Save and Run, the data will flow from the input processors through all the processors and change their appearance according to their configurations. Now it is possible to see the results up to the step where the result table is connected. Every time the workflow is executed, we are creating a so-called workflow job. The execution of a single job can be successful or fail due to configuration issues. The list of all the historical job executions can be visualized clicking on Show Jobs. A successful workflow is indicated by all green connectors and a positive job listing on top of the list. From the job list, it is also possible to return to any previous job's version. In this way, it is possible to get the configuration and the results of a specific workflow job. When a workflow fails, the red connectors and crosses indicate the failure. Opening the processor where the workflow failed provides a detailed error report. This is an example of what a finished workflow could look like. After the workflow is fully developed and the required data have been generated, this data can be saved as a data product by connecting the last processor of the workflow to the data layer save processor originally created by OneData. Execute the final version of the workflow to save the data in the data product. As soon as the workflow is complete and successful, the data product is ready for review. Learn how to bundle workflows with production lines and watch our video, Creating Production Lines in OneData, and learn how to automatize your work by using schedules with our video planning schedules in OneData. Thank you for learning with us.